everybody, welcome back to theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Again, it's theclinicaltrialsguru.com. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. If you're watching on the blog, thank you, subscribe. Here's a hint, wink, wink. Giveaways coming soon, okay? You don't want to miss out. Okay, with that being said, this is going to be a quick video, right? But it's the importance of having an SOP, standard operating procedures. So we've discussed those before. We all know, or at least most of us know in the industry, that it's important to have a standard operating procedure, SOP. But what you may not know is that having written policies and written procedures in place can actually help you elsewhere, such as negotiating budgets. So my last video, I did a talk about how you can request overhead, and usually sites get like 20 to 25%. Well, I have a policy in place for 40%, and it's been accepted almost every single time because it's written down, it's part of my policy, and you don't have to put this in your SOP, but your SOP can refer to it, or you may choose to have your SOP not even refer to it at all, because a lot of sites are worried that if they put too much in the SOP, the FDA can actually audit all those things, because the FDA, or even a sponsor, if a sponsor doesn't audit, the sponsor will request your SOPs, and then they can actually audit your SOPs to make sure that you're following your SOPs. So what I would do, and if you're not worried about that, go ahead and cross-reference from your SOP to your other policies. So have a policy in place for archiving. You can get usually reimbursed for that. Have a policy in place for recruiting and advertising fees and lunch and learns, so you can go out in the community and educate people about research, or send somebody out to do that, like a recruiter, and you can bill for their time. So in pharma, the rule is, as long as it's written down, and one of my viewers actually pointed this out, as long as it's written down, pharma will generally approve it. Let me find the exact quote. I want to thank this person for saying it so eloquently, actually. And I can't find it, but the gist was, as long as you write it down, oh, here it goes. Pretty much I found that with pharma companies, if you have formal documentation for what you are requesting, then they will pretty much grant it. So thank you very much for mentioning that. I don't know if I'll keep you anonymous. But yes, that is the point of this video, okay? Anything you can think of, as long as you have formal documentation, it's written down somewhere. It doesn't necessarily have to be in your SOP. You can put it in your SOP if you want, but be aware that you can get audited on those things. So the safest thing to do, you can also cross-reference it, but then they can request those binders too if it's cross-referenced in your SOP. So the safest thing to do is just have separate policy and have it not as part of your SOP, but have it separate, like have one for advertising. Here's our advertising policy. Here's our lunch and learn policy. Here's our archiving fee policy. Here's our pharmacy fee and pharmacy storage policy. Here's our overhead policy. Okay, so the more policies you can come up with and think of, the better it is going to help you in negotiating budgets and getting reimbursed for certain things. Even in the midway point of the study, you can also now, in 2015, a big thing is having source documents and regulatory documents in the cloud, so saved on a platform. I use Intralinks Via. Have a policy for that in place, and you can get your entire fee for the year paid for by the sponsors. Okay, so, or at least a portion of it, and you can allocate what percentage of the Intralinks or whatever software you're using, but I prefer Intralinks Via for that particular trial. Get it reimbursed. You won't get it reimbursed if you just send an email and say we want reimbursement for this. You will get it reimbursed if you send them an email and say we want reimbursement for this, and here's our written policy, and here's how we run our studies and how we use this program. So policy for anything you can think of, have a written policy. You can probably get it reimbursed, or either paid for up front or invoiced as a fee throughout the study. Hopefully this helps. Dan from theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Let me know if it doesn't. Thank you for subscribing. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube by, what is it now, March? So I'm trying to get there by June, alright? I'm at 658 at the time of this video, so spread the word, please. Thank you, and keep watching. Dan from theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Bye-bye.